Namaste, beautiful. Welcome to practice. This class is meant to be accessible to beginners and all levels of practitioners, and it is with an energetic focus of healing from trauma. So it's kind of like therapy. And a lot of what we're going to do here is different kinds of variations of what I have done and what I started doing many years ago to help myself to heal from trauma. So I have witnessed the effects of it in myself, and now I have the honor and privilege of bringing what I have developed to you. So we're going to start with some centering, and then we're going to do a little bit of heart opening stuff. I would like to put the heart opening first because I would like for us to, after we center, after we kind of bring ourselves into the present moment, to be increasing the love that we have for ourselves before we then go in any other direction. Yeah. And so after we do some heart opening, which means a little bit of back bending, then we're going to stand up, and then we're going to work on our balance and our strength. So, of course, to regain strength and balance in our life, then it can be helpful to work on our strength and our balance in our body. Yeah. And then we're going to do some twisting a little bit. And the purpose of the twisting is so twisting, when we twist in yoga, it's for the purpose of detoxing. When I put twisting into trauma healing classes, what my intention is to help you to detox out the trauma, to kind of remove that energy that entered the body at the time of trauma, right? Because a part of why I think that yoga can be particularly helpful when it comes to healing from trauma is because so much gets trapped in the body. And, we go to therapy and we go to these different forms of treatment, and they address various things in the mind, right? And in the body as well. But to really get into the body and to use the body to be removing the trauma, I think is just a whole different kind of healing. Yes. So that's why I do that. And then finally, we will do a little bit of opening the hips for the purpose of, after we've opened the heart, after we've worked on our strength and our balance, after we've twisted out some of that trauma, then we open the hips and we allow the emotions about the stuff to flow. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and get started. So if it feels comfortable, then we can start in child's pose. I like to start in child's pose when I'm doing trauma healing based practices, both myself and in teaching, because we are taking on the energy of a child. And when we do so, then we are putting ourselves in this vulnerable position, for one, but we're also putting ourselves in the position that we can then kind of grow up again. Yeah. So if it feels comfortable to start in child's pose, then we can go ahead and do that. Or if it feels more comfortable to start in some other kind of seated position, then that is also fine. Yeah? Okay. So pick your position. If child's pose feels okay, then let's get into it. I think I'm going to take the version with my knees together. So you can either have your knees together and then kind of have your shoulders so that they are draping over, or you can have the knees wider and have your arms outstretched. I'm going to keep the knees together for now and then have my shoulders draped over. I did quite a lot for my shoulders today, so it's nice to feel kind of a relaxing in that area. So choose whichever one feels best for you at this time. And just allow yourself to come into the present moment. Just breathing naturally. Bringing attention to the body to notice if there is anything in the body that maybe needs extra attention. And if there is anything in the body that needs extra attention, let's maybe try breathing into it and seeing if that can help. And I want to encourage you to maintain an awareness of your body and of the connection between your body and your mind, and your soul throughout the practice, if possible. And if ever you notice yourself starting to feel anxious or uncomfortable, maybe see if you can take the breath a little bit deeper and slower. And become aware of any sensations that you can feel. So if your belly is in contact with your thighs, maybe feel the expansion of the belly onto the thighs. If your hands are outstretched, maybe feel the way that the hands are grounding into the mat or the floor or the earth. Just noticing the points of contact with the floor, with the earth, with the air, with the body. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and roll up. So we're in hero's pose, seated on our heels, if it feels okay. And now we're going to come onto hands and knees. So place the hands in front of us, come up onto the knees as well. And let's kind of circle out the wrists a little bit first. Just circling the wrists and also bringing attention to the knees as we do this. So we're going to circle forward, taking an inhale. Try to straighten the knees as much as we can here. And then when we come back with an exhale, sit back toward the feet. And inhale forward, exhale back. 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's switch directions. Inhaling forward, coming over the hands, and exhaling back, sitting onto the feet. 2, 3, 4, 5. And come back to neutral. And now we're going to start getting into the back. So making some cat-cows here. And as we arch the spine, really be focusing on opening the heart, inhaling, breathing in love with an open heart. And exhale. Exhale, breathe out anything that no longer serves you as you round the spine up. Breathing through the nose, inhaling, arching the back, looking up at the nose or between the eyes. Exhale, anything that no longer serves you. Inhale the love. Exhale. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. And keep the intention of the love coming in. And anything that you don't want going out, keep it going. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And come back to neutral. All right. Now, let's come forward onto the belly. And now we're going to take a Sphinx pose. So we're going to take our forearms down to the ground. And we're going to lift the chest up. And we're going to look up. We're going to kind of just enjoy this nice slight arch in the back. So we're kind of arching more the top part of the back now. Yeah? And so just be holding here. We're going to hold for, I don't know, maybe a minute-ish. And so it's going to feel a little bit of tension in the back as we're here. Yes? So what I would like for you to do is to energetically release the tension that you feel. So breathe into it. Again, focusing on the love. We're opening our heart here. So breathing in, feeling the love, and exhaling it out. Breathe in, feel the love. Exhale it out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. And breathing at your own pace. Remembering to be energetically relaxing. Remember to breathe in love, to breathe out what you do not need. And 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Take the hands, interlace the fingers, or take one hand on top of the other. And just place your head onto your hands. And then just rock the hips back and forth. Soothing out the back with the rocking of the hips. Beautiful. Now, let's move up to standing. Yeah. So let's push back into a child's pose. Maybe rock back and forth for a second. And then let's tuck the toes. And let's push up into a downward facing dog. So here we are trying to keep our heels down toward the floor. As long as they are working in that direction, that is totally fine. Our feet are about hip width distance apart. Our heels are such that they are kind of hiding behind our toes. It's a nice line with our toes. We're nice and strong in our hands, nice and strong in our feet. Our hands are shoulders width distance apart. Pointer fingers are pointing forward. Our shoulders are away from the ears and our armpits are facing toward each other. We're looking up toward our belly button. Our hips are up and back. And now let's bring it forward. So if it feels nice, you can, and if you have downward dog and if it feels nice, you can go ahead and come up onto the toes and then walk your feet forward on the toes. Or alternatively, you can simply step forward, and then we're going to find this forward fold position. And we can go ahead and grab onto the elbows, opposite elbows. And so here I would like for us to have as flat of a back as possible. So if it's difficult to have a flat back here and get your head down toward your toes, then you can go ahead and bend the knees here, because it's nice to have this contact with the belly and the thighs, right? So if to get down to this position requires a hunch in your back, then try and straighten it out and then see how far down you can get. Yeah. And then when you need to bend the knees, then that is also fine. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and roll it up. All right, so now we're coming to standing, and we're going to start working on a bit of the strength and the balancing that I was talking about. So the first thing that we are going to learn is Warrior 1. So warriors are a really nice thing to incorporate into our trauma healing, because we are conjuring up the energy of the warrior, which of course is helping us to kind of be feeling strong and able to take on anything that might come into our lives. Yes? All right. So let's step backwards with the left foot. And so now our stance wants to be such that our left foot is turned out about 45 degrees from the front, and our front foot is facing forwards. Yeah. And so we are actually going to be doing a little bit of hip opening stuff before we get into the final hip opening at the end. We're also going to be continuing to get into the heart opening into the back a little bit as we go into Warrior 1, which is one of the nice things about Warrior 1. Yeah. So now as we bend our leg forward, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bend into the front leg. And so ultimately what we would like is to have a nice right angle with our front leg and a nice straight back leg, our hips to be square and to be here kind of in our final pose. Yeah. If it doesn't feel nice in the body to go to there, then any point at which you're bending forward with the leg is totally fine. Just get to the point that you can be with your hips still squared to the front. Yeah. So I'm going to come back so that I'm actually facing the correct direction and not facing you anymore. Okay, so we have our back leg 45 degrees, our front leg forward. And now we're going to lift the arms up. So when we lift the arms up, then we're taking a little bit of a back bend here, yeah? And so as we're taking a little bit of a back bend, then, and we're looking up at the hands, then again, we're focusing on opening up that heart, and we're focusing on strength, yeah? So finding that strength, finding that balance, feeling a little bit of the opening of the hips, maybe allowing a little bit of emotion to enter the body, bringing the hands up, looking toward the hands, feeling nice and strong. And let's hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Straighten the front leg and go ahead and step it forward. And now we're going to try the other side. All right, so step back now with the right foot. And now our right foot is 45 degrees and our front foot is facing forward. And so now we're going to bend again into the front leg, bending into the left leg now. checking that our alignment is right. I'm trying to avoid the bumps in the grass with my feet. And I keep going off with my alignment. All right. Trying to get a nice right angle, but it's also totally fine if we don't have the right angle yet. Trying to keep our hips square and reaching the hands up, looking up at the hands, focusing on the opening of the heart, focusing on the strength in the legs, the strength in the body, and holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. All right, straighten the front leg and step it forward. All right, so now we are going to go into triangle pose. So triangle pose means that, again, we are actually opening the hips a little bit and using our strength, using our balance a bit. Yeah, so there's a lot going on in triangle pose, which is nice because then we get to kind of have our focus on a lot of different things that are happening. Yeah, so let's go ahead now and step back again with the left foot. And now we can either have our left foot so that it is out 90 degrees, or we can have it somewhere between 45 and 90 degrees, depending on our flexibility. So choose whatever feels good for you. And now we want our hips to be facing the side. Yeah, so the front foot is still facing front. The back foot is facing either to the side or slightly in. Feels best if it's to the side, in my opinion, but do as you wish. And then we're going to take the hips, send them slightly over to the left, reach the arms out, and then keeping the hips in place. Yeah, so not letting the left hip come forward. We want the hips in place. We want to imagine that if there were a wall behind us, then both of our butt cheeks would stay on the wall. Yeah, and so then from here, then we're leaning forward, leaning forward, leaning forward. And wherever it gets to the point that your hips want to unsquare, stop there. Yeah? So it can be up here, it can be all the way down here, it can be with your hand on the floor, it can be with your hand on the floor behind you. So let's stay here and then look up toward the top hand and hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's inhale and come up and step forward with the left foot. And now I'm going to come to the other side so I can still be facing you. So now let's go ahead and step back with the right foot. So now we're going to turn our right foot so it is facing the side. Our front foot is facing the front. Our hips are both facing the side. And now we're going to take our right hip out to the right, take the arms out to the side, and then we're coming down, keeping the hips nice and square here, keeping both butt cheeks against our imaginary wall, and reaching down toward the left foot until we feel the urge to unsquare our hips, and then looking up at the right hand and holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's come up. Woo! And step the right foot forward. All right. So now we are going to get into those twists. So we're really only going to do 1 twist today because this is a beginner class. This is like the beginning of getting it out. Yeah. And so we're going to do revolved triangle. And I just really, really want for when we get into our revolved triangle that we are focusing on twisting out what we want to be removing from the body. Yeah. So this is our opportunity to do it today. This is the beginning of the removal. Let's keep that energetic focus. Yes? All right. So now we are stepping back with I'll face this way. Now we're stepping back with our left foot. And so now we're revolving. So now we have our back foot so that it is 45 degrees. And now we're going to revolve as much as we can to face the side. So we're facing to the right. And we have our arms out again. And now we're doing the same thing, but now we're bringing our left hand down toward the right foot. And so we feel this twist here, and now we're going to feel it even more when we bring our hand down toward the left foot. And now we look up toward the right hand and keep twisting as we look up. Focusing on the removal of trauma, on the removal of anything that needs to be removed from the body. And holding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's inhale and come up. Step the left foot forward. And now we're going to step back with the right foot this time. Turn the back foot out 45 degrees. Reach the arms out, twist over to the left as much as you can. And now reach the right hand down toward the left foot. Trying to keep the hips square here, so pulling back on the left hip, pulling forward with the front hip, with the right hip. And looking up. Oh. And holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look down at the hand. Inhale, up to center. And step forward with the right foot. Beautiful. Now we're going to bring it back down to the floor. We're going to open up the hips a little bit. And then we're going to do a final twist. So then we do have one more opportunity while we're on the floor to wring out a little bit more. And then we're going to take Shavasana. Okay? So let's come down onto the floor, which we can do by simply sitting down onto the floor. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a frog pose. And if you know what that is, you might be thinking she's out of her mind. And you might be correct. The reason that I'm choosing frog pose is because we can use our body, our strength, to get into the pose or to stay out of the pose as much as we want. Okay, so we're going to go into frog pose and we're going to hold it for a decent amount of time. You're going to hold yourself up or allow yourself to come down, and you're going to listen to your body to choose how much to hold yourself up or to allow yourself to come down. We're going to practice connecting the mind and body, and we're going to practice listening to the body and overriding the body, because both are necessary sometimes, right? So we're going to practice strengthening the intuition, which is an important thing to do when we are working on trauma healing, right? So to get into frog pose, we're going to take the knees wide. And we're going to have the feet such that they are in line with our knees as much as possible. Yeah. And then we're going to allow the center to drop down to the ground. Now, if this feels intense, ask yourself, how intense does it feel? Yeah. Is it intense to the point that you need to come up? Or is it intense to a point that you can energetically relax your hip flexors? Why is the tension there? Is it there because you can't do the pose? Or is it there because your body is scared of the pose? Is it there because your body hasn't gone into the pose before? Ask it, right? Play around with it. See if you can use the mind to energetically relax the hip flexors. And if then the body allows you to go deeper, if you use the mind to relax it. It's possible that it won't, but I guarantee you that at least some of the resistance that you're getting at the beginning is out of the body's fear, and it can be overridden with the mind. But so pay attention, right? Is it intuition saying, no, I can't do that? Or is it fear? Pay attention. Only you know the answer, right? And so be having that conversation between the body and the mind as you work towards relaxing and allowing the hips to come down more toward the floor. Yeah? And as you experience the hips opening more and more and more, also be maybe paying attention to if any emotions are coming up. What does it feel like in your emotional body, in your energetic body? Allow for anything that needs to come out to come out. Try to do your best to refrain from suppressing anything and just let the emotions flow. All right, I could stay here forever. I won't make you stay here forever. So let's go ahead and slowly come out of pose. So we can do so by bringing our hips forward, bringing our feet backwards, and working the feet together. And then we can roll over and come up to a seated position. And now we're going into our twists in our Shavasana. So we're going to come back down onto the back. And let's take our twists with the legs together if it feels good. You can also take one leg at a time if that is something that works in your body. But it's totally fine to just take two legs together and then drop the knees over to the left. Maybe move the butt over to the right a little bit to have the back kind of in a straighter line here. And then take the right shoulder down to the floor or the ground or the mat and look over to the right. So again, we're twisting, of course. So we have one more opportunity here to be removing anything that is not serving the body in a effective way. Anything that's not enhancing your experience as a human being, we can be energetically removing from the body here. And so if you feel any tension in the body, then go ahead and try and breathe into it and exhale it away. And let's bring the knees back to center. Bring the butt over to the left now. And then bring the knees down over to the right. And bring the left shoulder down. And look over to the left. Continuing to breathe into any tension that you might feel. And breathe it out. And continuing to just allow the body to remove the trauma, to remove anything toxic within the body. And let's come back to center. And let's go ahead and take the feet out, allowing them a comfortable width distance apart, allowing the hands to come a comfortable width distance away from the body. And close down the eyes. Allow the entire body to melt into the mat, into the floor, into the ground. Feel the way that you are held up by whatever it is that you are lying on. And know that it will hold you for the entirety of your Shavasana and the entirety of your life. You are always held by the ground, no matter what. And with the next inhale, begin to call the self back to the body and start to make some movement in the fingers and the toes, moving into the wrists and the ankles. Take the hands, interlace the fingers, reach them up over the head, and take the feet and stretch them in the opposite direction. Inhale deeply. Exhale and sigh it out. Roll over onto one side, continuing to keep the eyes closed. And continuing to keep the eyes closed, go ahead and sit up. Take the hands either to the knees or to heart center. And just take a moment to check in with the body once again, see how it feels, notice any sensations. Notice any emotions that you might be feeling, thoughts you might be having. Try to see if you can find acceptance for all of the above: sensations, thoughts, emotions. Remind yourself that the healing process is, in fact, a process. Thank yourself for being here and working toward that healing process. Allow your heart to fill with love for yourself, with gratitude for yourself, with hope for yourself. And when you're ready, go ahead and blink open the eyes. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for allowing me to guide you with so much love. Namaste.